Summer here with the Pioneer Library, and I'm really excited to do more of our literacy lessons. So this is more of an overview of what it kind of looks like to be going through this. I have like a whole lesson plan printed up for you of different things to go through and activities to do that should keep it fun as well as educational. All right, so I'm going to start off with showing you again our website because it's always helpful just to see where everything is. So when you come to our website, you're going to go into your youth services. There's a STEAM ones. This is where all of our STEAM activities and checkout kits are. We're going to be in virtual programming, and I just want to show off. I also have a kids books recommendations. Tumble books, which are books you can get anytime. They're awesome for K through 6. Some of them include narration. Wonderful things. And then we have launch pads. These are educational tablets that are preloaded and have no need for internet. We're also getting like 12 more. So we're gonna have about 20 launch pads pretty soon. You can go to this website and click on this link to see all the launch pads we have. And when we have them in and ready to be checked out, they'll be highlighted in blue and underlined. All right, so let's go back up to virtual programming for the littlest readers. So as you know, we do story times every Tuesday at 10. This is part of our literacy lessons and resources. This happens on Thursdays. So we alternate weeks between doing a literacy lesson and just literacy resources. So here we are for December. This one is the letter B for bone. Something that's interesting is when you are teaching your kids the alphabet and different letters, it actually helps to switch it up and not just go A to Z, but like bounce around between different letters. All right, so what's inside? We have a literacy lesson plan, so you can do it solo with your kids, practice tracing letters, and a number recognition game. So these things help build fine motor skills through tearing and ripping paper, gluing things together, and coloring. And I will edit that for when I actually upload this. This should be like coloring the dinosaurs. This was a little bit off. Shape recognition and practice writing letters and numbers and phonetic skills. So phonetics is like, how do you make the sound for the letter B? All right, so here's the whole lesson plan. We're going to start off with how we say this and how it feels to say the letter B. I got all these resources from Chicago Speech Therapy. So check them out for more tips. If you find these helpful at all, check them out. So here's a cool thing. So when you're saying B, you're going to be producing a small puff of air. So something that's helpful is have your kid put their hand right in front of their face so they can feel so they can feel that's what's happening. This is also a voice sound, so you can have them go to here and go bah, bah, bah. I can feel my vocal cords actually vibrating during this, so you can feel that vibration. And then another thing to keep in mind is B is a stop sound. So this means that it's produced by completely stopping airflow, then releasing it in a burst. That's what creates that sound. So you kind of like, the B sound cannot be held and does not linger. So like S, I can hold that sound for a really long time. B, B, I just say and it's done. I find this stuff really interesting because I don't think a lot about how I say things. So it's really cool to actually understand some of these, like, how does this sound and how does this feel? I'm thinking about how are we using this to help people and kids learn their letters. Okay, so another thing, this can be a really fun game. You can have your child bang their fists on the table or their legs. So like maybe just little tiny sorts of things that every time with the repetition of the sound. So it can be like a short staccato action. This will create an association with brief and explosive with the sound of B and help your child imitate this in their own articulation. So their own way of saying it. So B. Bah, 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 bah. So it can be a really fun game that way. Another thing that's always helpful is using a mirror so they can see what their mouth looks like when they're saying it. This one, they're really just mostly looking at their lips because their mouths are mostly closed. But you can see like my teeth aren't touching. I'm just pushing air through. I have my tongue at the bottom of my mouth. All those different things that maybe helping like looking at it when you do it or having them look at them when they do it can be very helpful. Another thing that's really cool is copying animal sounds. So animal sounds that we make don't actually sound at all like the animals, but they're really important for learning these letters. So that's something I learned recently, and I found that fascinating. That because it makes sense. Like, you know, my horse doesn't really go neigh, but making that noise helps me when I was little learn how to say different letters within our alphabet and how we pronounce them. And then, like I said, check out the Chicago Speech Therapy site for more tips. They're super helpful. Another thing we're going to be doing is like last time, is we're going to take all these letters and we're going to cut them out for bone, and we're going to start with them very far apart. We're going to slowly push them together. I'll show you again what that looks like. And then, as always, keep playing rhyming games. So bone, clone, groan, moan, zone, stone, roan. There's all these different ways in which we can start rhyming. Let them get creative, go back and forth, pass it back and forth and take turns. Kind of make it a little bit of a game. And last but not least, I highly recommend doing this activity with a book. So at some point, it can happen with this activity or another time, getting a book that somehow relates to this. So play the game of having it upside down and backwards. Get them to turn it over into the right place. Have them turn the pages. Have them sit on your lap while you're doing this. When you're reading, point to each word, and you can have them put their finger on top of yours, and they can ride the finger. So as you're doing it, it helps with letter recognition and word recognition for them to be seeing it in that way. And the book I recommend for this week is Here We Go Digging for Dinosaur Bones. It's a nonfiction science book, and I think it's so much fun. And one other thing that I don't have written down here yet, but it's just a little bit of a reminder, like down below, there's a number recognition game that's really fun. So, and as always, there's a list of all of our songs at the very end. So sing the songs, have fun, enjoy that. Singing really helps them learn how to pronounce things because we slow down from when we're talking. That's why singing and rhyming are really helpful. Rhyming helps them learn word families. Singing helps us slow our words down while we're doing this with them. Okay, so I'm going to do this at the very end because I'm going to have to move to my desk for it. But this is the part we're going to be cutting or ripping these out and putting them together to spell bone. Here is some of our letter practice, so where they can start tracing. As always, I try to include as many things in here as possible that they can color in. So I try to include things that don't already have color in them so they can color and have more fun with this. This is super fun. Roll and cover. It's a number recognition game. So you'll need some dice. You'll need a small object to cover the numbers. So like pieces of paper, erasers, beads, whatever you have on hand is great. And then the template for roll and cover, which is below. So you're going to roll one six-sided dice. You're going to count the number of dots on the die and cover their corresponding dinosaur with that piece of paper. You can put on as many pieces of paper as the number of die. So numbers on the die. So if you have 5, you can put 5 pieces of paper on there. So this combination is really cool too. And repeat till you've covered all the numbers. So here are our numbers within our dinosaurs. And like I said with the alphabet, having things out of order can actually be kind of helpful sometimes. You can also cut these out and put them in order. You can put them in increasing order. You can have them in decreasing order. You can have them whichever way you want. And then here are songs down here. I sing them every week with our story time, but here are all the words for them if you want to be doing them with your kids while you're doing this or throughout the week. All right, so let's pop on over to my desk and I'll go over when you have all the letters of bone and you start them really far apart and say them really slowly and like slowly inch them together. This really helps them learn the skills that they need to sound words out. When they don't know what something sounds like, if they know what each letter sounds like, they can build up to the word. All right, so here we are at my desk, and I just wrote out all of these on last week's pieces of paper. Here we go. So we're going to start out with them far apart where you can still see them. All right, so we're going to start with B, O, N, we're going to move a little closer together. B, O, N, E, E. B, B, O, N. Bone. E is kind of weird because sometimes it can be silent or kind of like a sound. So, and you can have them actually set the pace. You can have this be a fun little game where they set the pace of where the letters are. You could even have it so like you can have one letter really far from the other. So B, own, bo, n, bon, bone. So you can play a little game with this like that. Okay. So I hope that you find this helpful and enjoy it this week. I will be posting our story times, remember, Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, and resources next week will be posted Thursdays. You can pick up this kit if you want. There's nothing in it other than the paper, so you can also just look at it online or print it up from home. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye.